My name is Melissa Matthews and I work for the Australian Institute for Disaster Resilience. So that's something that we're focusing on really strongly in Australia, this concept of being able to shift mindsets around systemic disaster risk. And we think that's really important because the kind of thinking that got us to where we are today is not the thinking that's going to get us to where we need to be when it comes to sustainable futures with regards to disasters and climate resilience. So that's something we're really focusing on, and what that means is that we need to engage really broadly with stakeholders that you might not even think about when it comes to disaster and climate resilience. We're talking to insurance, we're talking to finance, land use planning, we're talking to people in local governments and people in all sorts of different areas to talk to them about what systemic risk is and why it matters and why this broad stakeholder base actually needs to come together and take aligned and collaborative action so that we can see changes that make sure that people are not in the vulnerable positions that they find themselves in now. So for the people in the Asia Pacific who are looking to change their mindsets to better address systemic disaster risk, I think the most important thing is that you remember that the thinking that you have used to get to this point now where we're suffering massive environmental degradation, where disasters are happening again and again and responding in the same way without really getting ahead, that thinking is not going to make the changes that we need to see going forward. And if you can find a way to cultivate a systemic disaster risk mindset that will help you look at things differently and work together differently and work with new and different actors to try to create changes in your societies, you will find that you will go a lot further with your efforts to reduce disaster risk at its root causes, where the risk is created, rather than having to work with the communities at the other end when they have already experienced disasters.